It's pretty common around the all-time highs that, people take some chips off the table. We're seeing long-term wallet addresses taking some chips off the table. It's pretty common.
Yeah.
Ahead of the halving. Then it normally goes into what I refer to as the banana zone. And that's when you get the real price action. So the real price action hasn't happened yet.
No banana zone? We're pre-banana zone?
When does it start? When?
Despite breaking all-time highs, Bitcoin and crypto is about to go into the banana zone. Despite investors taking some chips off the table right now, the real price action hasn't even begun. That's the latest message out from CEO and co-founder of Real Vision, Raoul Pal. In an interview with Howard Lindson, he expressed his belief that crypto prices are about to go parabolic, suggesting we are approaching what he refers to as the banana zone. Raoul also explains that many people are going to mess up this crypto cycle by being too indecisive and allocating to the wrong tokens. Keep the majority of your portfolio in top crypto assets and take a long-term approach to make the most of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Make sure to stick around to find out why Raoul is 100% certain that Bitcoin is heading for another all-time high. Now here's Raoul Pal explaining why we're about to enter the banana zone.
So I discovered this chart back in 2020. And what it is the number of active wallets in crypto.com measure this, versus the, active IP addresses of the internet. And I always thought, well, this is a network adoption model, the same kind of thing. It's an adoption of a technology. And I wonder what they look like. And I put them over each other. And what we found was that, obviously, because the internet was the rails that already exists, the adoption of a new technology that uses those rails is faster. And it's actually twice the speed of the internet. So if you can get your heads around how big the internet was for all of us, this is happening at twice the speed. It's driven the fastest appreciation asset of all time. The compounded annual returns of, let's say, Bitcoin is about 150% a year, even with 80% drawdowns 4 times in the middle of it. We've literally never been given an asset like this with an adoption like this. And going forwards, if we just assume that the rate of growth just matches that of the internet from here until the end of 2025, we end up with 1 billion users. And if we extrapolate that out to 2030, we get to 4 billion users. So basically, this is a pervasive technology that's going to take over all of our lives in ways we don't really understand. It's not just going to be about investing in cryptocurrencies, it's just going to be the underlying rails of transactions. The really important thing is crypto right now is $2.7 trillion industry. It'll probably finish this cycle at $10 to $15 trillion. And by 2030 or so, it'll be $100 trillion, right? This is the largest, fastest accumulation of wealth in all human history. It's as simple as that. That's what that chart tells you. Now, what everybody does, and Howard, you explained, there is a bell curve. And you want to be on the left of the bell curve, which is actually the same as being the Jedi Master on the right of the bell curve. Everybody in the middle who overthinks it, it's simple. Number go up. That's the whole crypto thematic that you need to know. You can either do all the deep dive, and I must have done 10,000 hours on this, and I might be at the right side of the curve sometimes, but I don't mind being the left either. Just don't overthink it. The moment you overthink it, that's when you get yourself into trouble and you start not seeing it for what it is, you see it for what you want it to be. And listen, if you go to the ludicrous thing that Paul Tudor Jones mentioned a while ago, and Stan Druckenmiller talked about, is 80% of Bitcoin holders don't sell, ever.
Yeah. Correct. They're in cold storage.
And it's the same with Ethereum, with the staking and everything else. So your actual supply is 20%, plus the miners. The miners keep getting halved every 4 years. So you've got no supply. So that's 20% of the let's say of the entire asset class, 2.7 trillion, is actually available to buy. You bring something like an ETF and things go bananas, right? The more people who adopt it, the more the price rises. Also, the really key thing is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the chart from Fidelity about the risk reward of assets. It's brilliant. So there's this big white page, all Fidelity branded, and here's a cluster of all of here's the NASDAQ, and here's gold, and here's oil, and here's all of that. They're all clustered in the bottom. Then there's a blank page, blank page, blank page, blank page, blank page, dot, Bitcoin. It's a fucking alien asset class. We have never, ever had an asset class with this risk reward over a long-term time horizon and this performance in all of human history. Technology and crypto are driven by liquidity cycles, real assets, value stocks, commodities. They're all just the business cycle, and the business cycle's going up now. So these things have been playing catch up. They were dogs. Now, as the economy starts re-strengthening, these will do well. And so everyone got left behind because they didn't do anything last year, and now they should do really well. And they should do really well in macro summer, macro fall. So they should just keep doing well over time. They'll have periods where they'll outperform what tech did, because tech, went off to the races to start with. So I think it's very consistent. And bond yields are just a function of that too. If the economy's strengthening, then bond yields tend to rise somewhat. Right. If I'm right that this is the fastest, largest accumulation of wealth in all human history, right? If it goes to 100 trillion, to JC's point, the S&P is worth $50 trillion, or the US stock market, entire US stock, that's 100 years of accumulated value.
It's mostly S&P, Raoul.
Yeah, it is. It's 100 years of accumulated value, and we're going to double that in a decade. It's like, this is La La Land, right? The amount of money that's going to get made here is La La Land. Look, with moves like that, you don't need to be over cute. Again, you can buy the breakout, and sure, it might even retest that, but it'll be fine. The thesis of don't fuck this up. Don't fuck this up is just keep 90%. If you're in crypto, keep 90% in the world-class top assets, and then do what you want with the 10%. And I own punks, and I own all sorts of stuff. But that's based on the ETH economy. I own the ETH economy, a small amount of the Bitcoin economy, and I think the official measurement would be a shit ton for me of the Solana economy.
Yeah,
that's how I've done it. And this is the banana zone, gentlemen.
Okay, so tell me what we're seeing.
Cycle, this is the banana zone. So what happens at about this point in time, what we call crypto summer, we have this little shuffle around the all-time highs, and then everything just goes bananas. So I don't care whether this is tomorrow or in a month's time, because to Phil's point, the number about to go up. And don't overcomplicate it. Everyone will overcomplicate this. They'll be looking at weekly charts, daily charts, hourly charts, tick chart. Just forget it. You should have a year plus to make a lot of money. This crypto market is the biggest gift retail investors have ever been given. Wait till Taylor Swift has a token economy, or sports teams properly. This is where it's going.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to a world where we will have equity in our culturally important things to us. In a world of AI replacing jobs, this is the future. You can't see it yet because it's super speculative and it's super early. But what we're doing is we're creating little mini groups of tokenized economies around ideas, memes, culture. We're tokenizing culture. And as you rightly say, Howard, this was a moment that people look back on, much like they'll look back on NFTs from last cycle. NFTs in the end are going to be every single ticket, every single contract. Mm-hmm. But that was the start. It happened to be art. Here's your opportunity. You can make 100x, 1,000x, 10,000x. We've seen them all in the last 2 months. And so, of course, it's going to attract people, and it's rational behavior because they don't have a way out. So even, Phil, your example of Bitcoin going from 60,000 to 1 million, that's a 14x. That's not going to move the dial for somebody with $5,000. So they have to take risk.
So there's Raoul Pal stating why he thinks Bitcoin is about to make further all-time highs. Looking back at previous cycles, Raoul recognizes what usually happens at this point in the cycle is an upwards-only move. He also believes that it's only a matter of time. As said in the interview, you do not have to overthink about investing in crypto, especially Bitcoin. If you take a 4+ year time frame, you will generally always have done well on your investment. If you want to keep up with the latest in the crypto space, be sure to subscribe to our 5-minute daily newsletter, The Crypto Nutshell. Don't miss out on the opportunity to stay informed and make calculated decisions in the crypto market. The link is waiting for you in the description below. Anyway guys, hope you all enjoyed today's video and that provided you with some value. I'll see you all in the next one, and as always, all the best.